just quick down and dirty. Nothing but blue jeans on, some good boots. Okay, we got a Chestrig set up. It's a Helicon Tex, I think, Mark IV Foxtrot. I'll put it in the link. But I got this specifically because it had multiple admin pouches. Okay, stuff to put things for the survival bushcraft side in, as well as the capability to handle mags, a radio, if I wanted this set up specifically for that. I also have a Nixieworks light fighter rig, butt pack, and the ability to carry canteens or grails or whatever else you want to as well. And then just as an added bonus for this video, I wanted to put in a small utility backpack to add in extra functions. Right now there's nothing in it, but I have the capability, and I'm fairly light, probably sitting somewhere between, I would say, 15 to 20 pounds right now. Okay, so let's take a walk. We'll lay everything out for you. So obviously very light setup, not really moving around at all. It's all very tight to my body. Now, like I said, there's nothing in this backpack right now, but I have the capability to stuff it with a bunch more stuff, whether it's something that I'm searching for and I find, tinder, materials, trash that I can use, whatever I need to in this type of environment. But, or you can load it down with more gear that would make you more comfortable and bring up your morale for a longer period of time. Totally up to you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and dump this. All right, so again, we got this rig. It does have a waist strap, okay, underneath for this light fighter rig. I can go ahead, take this off so I can get to my poncho. I still have a lot more room to be able to put any other kind of gear I need, but at the moment, really don't need it. Alright, so obviously some food. What I'm looking for right now is I have my sleep setup, which in that is going to be this poncho that I'm just going to lay out to show gear. So you have your regular poncho, and then I have a Wooby sleeping bag. Okay, I'm not gonna roll it out. Everybody knows what a Wooby looks like, but I can basically make this into a zip-up sleeping bag, and in conjunction with this, where I can lay my sleeping pad down here. If you're using a thermarest sleeping pad, I would suggest a closed cell foam military like GI isomat. And I say that right now because I'm looking at the ridge lines in this. It's wet, icicles are dripping down, and if you're going to be away from the system, water can build up on that. Of course, that's no bueno. So this system here, okay, now again, it's not meant to keep you sort of mattress comfortable, right? We're out here to be comfortably cold, and that's what this setup is all about, is to be able to operate in different environments, to be able to maintain your movement and stay alive until you can get back to your vehicle, get back to your house, get to your next location where maybe you have more gear and can resupply. Okay, so in this setup here, just off of this, obviously, it has a spot. This is a light fighter rig from Nixieworks. It has a spot to put an isomat or some kind of sleeping pad, or if you want to, you can roll up a sleeping bag and put it down there as well. A lot of different things you can do there. I have spots on either side to be able to utilize single wall canteens, nesting cups, your grails, any kind of Nalgene that you want to put in there is fine. And then of course I have this big compartment that I pulled, you know, my sleeping system out of. My poncho to use as an emergency shelter if needed, or a emergency bivvy. And then I also have this Wooby that turns into a sleeping system as well. I can get into that. And later down the road, I'll expand on this, and I actually will be putting a what they call a storm shield bivvy into this setup as well. I have 2 side pouches that's connected with MOLLE webbing on either side. There's nothing in this one. On this side, I do have a few things. I have a mechanical means of water filtration, just a Sawyer water filter to be able to filter water expeditiously. I have 4 tent stakes. Right here I have 3 aluminum or titanium ones, and then 1 ABS tent stake. And I carry the 1 ABS normally for situations like this, where if I absolutely had to start a fire out here, there's icicles. I don't know if you can see it, but there's icicles all over bushes and trees out here right now. So finding dry tinder out here is gonna take up more time and energy than if you had an ABS tent stake or an extra roll of duct tape. You can hear ice dropping all the way around us. But you can take off some shavings from this ABS tent stake and get a fire going if needed. Okay. And then we also have some cordage in here for ridge lines or whatever else you might need your cordage for. And that's pretty much it for the pack itself. It all packs in, close it up, buckle it up, call it good. Okay. So that's just for the inner workings of the bag. A little bit of food, something to sleep in, on, and under. Have a DACA style pouch here with some other little things. Dry socks. Okay. I have extra lighter, some extra food, Star-Kissed chicken. I have something to write with and on. I have a headlamp, both red and white light with extra batteries in there as well. And it stays in here, that way I can just keep everything nice and dry. Now, I will say this. This is a pro tip, if you will. If you're going to keep batteries and your headlamp in a pouch like this, please do not keep your ferro rod in with it. The batteries will corrode the ferro rod, and you'll go to use it and you won't be able to, because it'll be totally corroded, and not to mention the whole inside of your pouch will be covered in nastiness. So just don't do that. Okay, so go ahead and put that back in here for right now. Now, like I said, we have this little bag here that we can utilize for a lot of different things. Nothing special about it. It can fit 2 magazines, 1 on each side for a long gun or whatever. It's got a main pouch here, just like any of the small little backpacks you can find on Amazon or any of the tactical websites. But as far as my setup on my person, I have, again, things that I want to get to very, very quickly. I like to keep my writing utensils up here also. Write in a rain notebook. I have a pen in here and a pencil for backup. I also have my fire tablets individually wrapped, so I can heat my water up and be able to make my food very quickly. Dig a little trench, and Scott actually did a great video on utilizing these tablets and creating a quick miniature Dakota fire hole to be able to burn these in, cover it up. You were never there. Other things I have in here, coffee, Starbucks, okay, just because I always want to have that in the morning, and a small little sewing kit. Got some scissors in there, something I can easily get to. It's got some needles and some thread, easy to get to. It's right at the front of my pouch, so I don't have to worry about it. Main side, keep things like a ferro rod wrapped in some Gorilla Tape. Okay, that way it's easily accessible, and I can put it right back in here, no problem. Now, one of the other things is I have my compass. It's a Sunto MC2 dummy corded. That way I don't drop it, lose it, doesn't go anywhere. It can be used to find your way around the woods or get not lost. It can also be used, since it has a mirror on it, for signaling. Has a magnifying glass. There's a lot of different applications. Some folks say the magnifying glass will help you start a fire. I have tried it. For me, it doesn't work. They must be better at it than I am, and that's totally fine. But great resource to have right up in front. Very accessible on top of your kit. I also have a 1-inch roll of, this is T-Rex tape, but you can get it in Gorilla Tape as well. Again, for fire starting, fixing things. You know, I've used it on boots before. And I utilize this small Altoids tin as a char box. Okay, so I can cut up some cotton material and put it in here and put this in the fire and be able to create my own char. That way I can sustain fire over long periods of time using spark or ferro rod to light it. That way I have it quickly accessible to me here in this pack. And I also have an extra lighter in there as well. So we zip that up and we go into what normally most folks would put a med pouch down here. Okay. Now med is something that I have. Usually I keep it in a scout style pack. I don't have that here today, but I would say come up with your own med kit, whether it's something like an IFAK or put together, you know, Band-Aids, AD ointment, things like that, to be able to fix yourself, repair cuts and things like that. Treat those little things out in the woods. Or if you have prescription medications, please do not forget that in your tactical survival kit or your bug out bag, depending on what you're doing. A lot of folks don't think, I have prescription glasses. These aren't going to work so well at night. If you have prescription glasses that you have to wear, you need to be able to get your clear glasses and make that a part of your kit. So think about those kind of things. Now, as I was saying, this nut pouch, as it's normally referred to, usually carries medical supplies. For me, in my everyday scenario by myself, I get hungry. And I want granola bars and peanut butter. And I carry my titanium spork in here. That way it's accessible. I have some extra cordage in there. And I also have a Velcro battery case. That way I can maintain, you know, CR123s, AA's, AAA's, and I know exactly where my batteries are. That way if I have to replenish my headlamp or my stream light or my gun light, I can do so very easily, even in the dark when I ran out of light. So it's all very accessible here. This is an H harness deal. Again, I have a couple of magazines in here for a pistol, 3 mags for a long gun. I do have a radio. Newer into the radio scene, I just think it's important to be able to have communications, whether it's just listening to a weather band or being able to communicate with your neighbor. That's totally awesome. You can get extravagant when it comes to radio, so that's on you. Last but not least, in the kit that I have on me, I carry a Leatherman Wave. Now, you can go Ranger 78, but I like to have the pliers and the wire cutters specifically. This thing does have, Phillips head and flathead screwdrivers and all. It also has a file and a saw, because you didn't see in this kit, I didn't bring out a Silky saw or a Baco Laplander. This is my saw if I have to do some woodcraft or bushcraft type things out in the woods. It's going to take a hell of a lot longer to do it with this, but it is compact. It is a locking mechanism, and guess what? It's got a 90-degree spine, so I can also use it to spark a ferro rod when needed. Has a file, and of course, this is a serrated blade. If you're planning on snaring a rabbit out here and having it for dinner, you can utilize that. And just a regular, everyday blade on it as well. Each one of them lock, which is why I like the Wave over some of the others out there, even the Victoria Knox, specifically because every blade on here locks in place, and you know it's not going to fold down on you and make you have to do first aid on yourself out here. Now, with that being said, last but not least, I also carry a Mora Garber. This one happens to be a stainless version. I also have a Mora Garber Black, which is a carbon blade. Okay, carbon blade. If you only can buy one knife, these are relatively inexpensive. They're different at every place, but you can get it anywhere from 90 to 130 bucks with the sheath and everything. And if you only have that much money to get one blade, I would get a carbon steel blade. Okay, it's going to have a Scandi grind on it, which makes it glide through anything you're going to cut with it. It's a full tang fixed blade knife. Good handle to use for a lot of different applications. From the survival side, cutting cordage and doing bushcraft stuff, to if you absolutely had to, you can pull it and use it for self-defense as well. The grip on it is great, and there's just so many good things to say about Mora knives in general. So, but if you have the opportunity and you can only get one, get a Mora Garberg carbon steel blade knife. That way, in the event you had to take a flint or a piece of chert to this, it will spark. This, being stainless steel, will not. So, carbon fiber blade, or not carbon fiber, a carbon steel blade is the way to go. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and just put all this away. I'll show you how easy it is to, one, why you have minimal gear, because it's easy to put away, but relatively simple. Right. Obviously, it makes it very simple to be able to sling a long arm or have your pistol on your side, whatever you need to do. But that's it for today. Garrett with SYCOYL Outdoors. We'll see you next time.